financial services.
In presentation to the Committee of Constitutional Affairs, the Chief Minister stressed that Gibraltar was leaving the EU, but not through choice. He spoke of how the jurisdiction played by the rules and had resoundingly voted Remain. In discussing the ROC's relationship with the EU, he spoke of the relationship with Spain and the effect Brexit would have on the Spanish frontier workers. The Spanish Liberal Democrat MEP, Maite Ruiz, accused him of being selective with his facts. Gibraltar, she said, was considered a tax haven by Spain as there was no exchange of information. The Chief Minister replied Gibraltar had received no information request from Spain and that it's only Spain who says this, despite the ROC doing business with many other countries.
Gibraltar has 27 tax information exchange agreements. We offered one to Spain. One was agreed, but after the change of government in Spain in 2011, the draft has not advanced. It is available for signature at any time. But we now have the effect of the European directive, which provides for exchange of information, and that is how information is exchanged.
As a European citizen, she added, she worried about the ROC's economic growth rate when the region's growth is lower than anywhere else in Spain. This lack of harmonisation, she claimed, was because the irregular situation encouraged tobacco smuggling and other activity not compatible with European democratic values. This is why, she added, they had to fight against the dark side of globalisation.
We can have a debate about interpretation. We can have whatever debate we like about what we think should happen in respect of Gibraltar, Ceuta or Melilla. But we should have those debates based on truth, and we should argue about the truth. Now, to hear yourself described as somehow part of the dark side of globalization, honourable members might think that I should be wearing a Darth Vader mask in the context of this meeting. I invite the honourable lady to come to Gibraltar, to see the reality of Gibraltar, to see how we are an important part of the economy of the region in the positive. I invite the honourable lady to take off the spectacles that have been given to her by the dogma that is spread about Gibraltar in Spain, and to see the reality of Gibraltar, and to come and understand why we continually have the hand of friendship that we extend to the government of Spain turned back at us.
It was then the turn of the Partido Popular. Its spokesman, Esteban Pons, started off by saying that although aspects of what Scotland and Gibraltar had said were mildly interesting, the forum to go and ask for help was Westminster. The committee's president felt the need to clarify this.
Today, but I think our guests are here to share with us the information. We are not promising anything. We are not negotiating. The European Parliament has its own competences, but we feel that if we are going to propose the consent procedure with a yes, we have to understand everything that is related to Brexit. That's
Mr. Pons told the committee that Gibraltar had an opportunity to remain European. It was in with Spain or out with Britain. As in this divorce, he said, Britain was abandoning the home and Spain keeping the friends. The Pepe MEP went on to say Brexit is Brexit, and that the whole of the UK is either in or out, with Gibraltar out the day after Article 50 is triggered.
Spain was not in or out of the European Economic Community in 1984. Spain was out of the European Economic Community in 1984. But Spanish citizens, himself included, if he had cared to come to Gibraltar, between 1984 and 1986, enjoyed European Union, European Community rights in Gibraltar. We did not regard it as an issue that was binary. And so when the Honourable Gentleman puts to us the issue of joint sovereignty, and he tells us that it is generous to be told that we must surrender half our sovereignty if we want to continue to be members of the European Union, I say we have a different definition of generosity. We asked for nothing in return in 1984 when we extended to all Spanish citizens EC rights then, and yet we are asked to give up the title to half of our home in order to be able to continue to enjoy those rights today. The position for us is very clear. We will pay any price, we will bear any burden, we will meet any hardship to continue our exclusive British sovereignty. That is something we have considered carefully, that we have factored in as a people. We voted 96% to remain in the European Union. We voted 99% to remain exclusively British and not to share our sovereignty with Spain. But then again, I invite him to come to Gibraltar, Perhaps he'll take the attitude that other Spanish members of parliament have taken, which has been to say they will not come to Gibraltar until the Spanish flag is flying over Gibraltar, in which case, in their lifetimes, unfortunately, they will not have the pleasure of seeing our magnificent little bit of European real estate. But I will tell him also this. In the letter to Senor Montoro, I invited Spanish tax collectors to come to Gibraltar to see how our tax authorities work. They too have not come. In a divorce, there are two attitudes to take. You can be shrill, you can shout, you can say that you want to keep the house, the children, and the dog. And if you do that, you don't care about the future of the children. I've been a lawyer. I've advised people who are going through a divorce. I always say to them, swallow your pride, think about the children, look to the future, forget the past. That is what I say to Spain. Look to the future, forget the past. There is no question of Gibraltar ever accepting the sovereignty of Spain in respect of our homeland.
After the interventions by Maite Ruiz and Esteban Pons, PSOE MEP Ramón Jauregui almost appeared as the voice of reason, as he asked the Chief Minister how far he was prepared to go in order to find agreements to resolve current issues. Mr. Picardo repeated his offer of friendship, but also made clear both to MEPs and to journalists that the ROC status was not in the Brexit blend and remained a matter exclusively for the people of Gibraltar and the British government.